Hello, dear viewers of the GlobalView Headlines channel, and welcome back. In this video, we'll answer questions like what happened around the world on December the 8th, what events took place, and what impacted our lives. Before we get into the video, a quick reminder, this is a new channel. Your support is crucial. If you enjoy the video, please support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and liking it. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Now, let's move on to the video. Enjoy!
You know how some dates on the calendar just feel heavier than others? They seem to pop up over and over again, packed with these huge, world-changing moments that are completely unrelated. Well, let's dive into one of those days, December 8th. It's a date that, believe it or not, tells us a whole lot about our capacity for conflict, for peace, for grief, and for incredible discovery.
So, it really makes you wonder, right? Can just one day on the calendar truly capture the entire sweep of history? We're going to explore that by looking at this amazing collection of turning points that, by pure coincidence, all landed on this one specific day.
I mean, just look at this range. We're talking about the American Civil War in 1863, then jumping to the US entering World War II in 41, a culture-shaking tragedy in 1980, the end of a superpower in 91, and then a huge leap in space exploration in 95. It's a wild mix. So let's kick things off by digging into two of the most powerful political moments.
And this brings us to our first major theme. It's this crazy contrast, right? How one single date can represent the start of a massive global war, and years earlier, a plan to heal a nation that was tearing itself apart. It's a fascinating look at two huge presidential decisions.
Okay, so this first one is a big one, a moment most of us know. Just one single day after the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States officially declared war on Japan. Now, this decision on December 8th didn't just bring America into the fight. It basically flipped a switch, turning a bunch of regional conflicts into a true world war. For millions, this was the day the entire planet was plunged into total war. And of course, who could forget these words? President Franklin D. Roosevelt, speaking to Congress, called it a date which will live in infamy. The power in that one phrase, it was so immediate, it completely cemented the gravity of that moment and made sure this day would be etched into our collective memory forever.
But, and this is where the story of December 8th gets really layered, let's rewind the clock. Decades before the world was thrown into war, this exact same date saw a profound gesture, one aimed at healing.
On December 8, 1863, right in the thick of the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued something called the Proclamation of Amnesty. It offered a full pardon to Confederate soldiers if they just swear loyalty back to the Union. This wasn't a victory speech, it was a roadmap for how to put the country back together. And he wrote it while the war was still raging. It was this incredibly forward-thinking act of peace on a day that history would later mark for war.
So you see the split, right? It's incredible. On one December 8th, a president's signature throws a nation into a global fight. On another, a president's signature offers a way home for his own countrymen. It just perfectly shows the day's duality. It can be about the world breaking apart and also about a nation trying to stitch itself back together. All right, let's move on because the story keeps building. December 8th also marks two huge but completely different endings. The sudden, shocking end of a cultural era and the quiet, almost bureaucratic end of a political empire. On December 8th, 1980, the world just stopped. The news of John Lennon's assassination was an absolute shockwave. I mean, this wasn't just the death of a rock star. It felt like a voice for peace and imagination had been violently silenced. The news created this instant, collective sense of grief that just swept across the globe. Now, let's jump forward 11 years and contrast that sudden tragedy with a planned political ending. On December 8, 1991, the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus sat down and signed a document, the Bellavia Accords, and with a stroke of a pen, they formally dissolved the Soviet Union. No single moment of shock, no violence, just a quiet decision that redrew the world map and basically ended the Cold War. 74 years. Just think about that. For 74 years, the Soviet Union had been one of the two global superpowers that defined the entire 20th century. And on this day, it just ceased to exist. It kicked off a totally new and uncertain era for millions and closed one of the longest, most intense chapters in modern history. But hey, December 8th isn't all conflict and endings. Not at all. It's also a day that points to some of our highest hopes, our drive to reach out into the cosmos and our search to find peace deep within ourselves. So,
Let's look up at the stars for a second. On this day in 1995, after a 6-year journey across the solar system, NASA's Galileo spacecraft finally arrived. It became the very first human-made object to ever orbit the giant planet Jupiter. It was just this monumental win for science and human curiosity, a day we learned so much more about our cosmic neighborhood.
And yet, while we were reaching for Jupiter, this day also marks a journey in the complete opposite direction, inward. For millions of Buddhists, December 8 is Bodhi Day. It commemorates the moment when Siddhartha Gautama is said to have achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So it's a celebration of a totally internal journey, the quest for wisdom, awakening, and inner peace.
So when you pull all of these different threads together, what does this one day, December 8th, really show us? Well, it's almost like a microcosm of the human experience itself, you know? It's packed with all of our biggest contradictions. Just think about it. In this one 24-hour slot, you've got war and peace. You've got profound tragedy right alongside breathtaking discovery. You have the end of an empire and the beginning of a new way of thinking. Outer space exploration and inner spiritual awakening. It's proof that history is never a straight line. It's messy, it's complicated, and December 8th captures that perfectly.
And that really leaves us with one final big thought. These moments, war, peace, discovery, loss, they aren't just things that happened in the past. History is being written as we speak, every single day. So the question to leave you with is this: what major turning point, for better or for worse, do you think we might be living through right at this very moment?